So
Yeah.
the Rougeaus and the Brainbusters are both going to give their notice at this time, and according to the Observer, Vince may have been feeling a little bit of the pinch as a result of this. We've got this report from the Observer. Vince McMahon had personal meetings this past week with both Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage to make sure that the key stars aren't considering making a move. Actually, neither of those names had even been mentioned by anyone, although either would be a key acquisition. I'd figure Hogan would be impossible to get. Savage would be very hard because he's got long-term plans here, but money talks and never say never. So, Jim, I read all that to you to say, this is a really interesting time in the world of wrestling because there's some big changes happening. Vince, he's pretty unmatched when it comes to ratings at this point, but now he's got to contend with the very deep pockets of Ted Turner. It's not the Crockett's anymore. Ted Turner's running the show down there. So I know that you were happy with your spot in the WWF, but was there ever a thought in your mind that, hey, maybe the grass and the money could be a little bit greener in the NWA?
Not at that point. Later on down the road, yes, but right there in the beginning, the WW, New York, New York. You can make it there. You can make it anywhere. And I figured if that came down the road, I could make the move. But why not? Why jump off the ship when the sailing's going pretty smooth?
That's it too. I think that you were really well positioned there with Vince. And gosh, everybody says that you'll go from a territory like Mid South or WCW or Georgia or wherever, and once you get up to Vince's TV, it's this big machine, right? It's
Oh
run like
yeah, I
no
mean,
other.
look, Mid South, we were doing Superdome shows. I mean,
Hmm.
we did some big shows, Texas Stadium shows for Von Erichs and stuff. You go up to New York. My first time up to New York, it's a whole different level. I mean, first off, there's hundreds of fans already lined up with their signs and stuff, waiting to see the boys come in. You got security at the gate. You got to make sure they got to check you through security. You get in there, there's all these TV trucks, satellite trucks, all these 18 wheelers, all painted up WWF, all these private buses everywhere, limousine here and there. I mean, and then you go in, it's the WWF. I mean, it was a shock. No matter coming out of Mid South, which, like I said, I was main event with Teddy at the Superdome, and we had the place rocking. Still, you walk in that first time in the Mid South, you're like, shit, or excuse me, in the WWF. It's a little bit of a culture shock.
The big
It's the big
leagues.
leagues, yeah, which I like to say, caps and sleeves. I mean, you make it there, you can make it anywhere, and to be part of New York. And I'm from New York. It was a big move to go up there because I had a good deal in Mid South. The
Yeah.
WrestleMania 1, Junkyard Dog went up for WrestleMania 1, and that bumped me to the top babyface spot in Mid South. So Bill was paying me pretty good to keep me in Mid South, but Jake went up for WrestleMania 2. Jake called me his brother. This is the place to be. That's when the action figures were just coming out, the first round of LJN. So I went up for WrestleMania 3. And I always said, DiBiase's down in Mid South. He goes, I can't go to New York. Junkyard Dog, Jake the Snake, Hacksaw Duggan. I'm Ted DiBiase. Of course, Ted goes up, gets the $1 million man gimmick. He's flying around. He's got Virgil driving his limo. He had the last laugh on everybody.
Man, when I know Ted's your buddy, but when he comes up and it's like he's sort of the new kid in town, but it's like, hey, Vince is giving you a stipend so that you can, buy whatever you want while you're out on the road and flash your money around. Vince is also giving you a private limousine. You're also getting 5-star hotels. Like when you're seeing that, are you like, hey, come on, what the hell? Are you happy for Ted? Like, yeah, good for him.
Well, you can't help but be envious.
Hmm.
People, are you jealous? You jealous of Ted? I'm like, no, but yeah, I am envious. I wouldn't mind that myself, but I'm having a good run where I'm at, and so you got to be happy. You always work to do better, but yeah, I wasn't looking for that. It'd been nice to have first class because a lot of guys got first class. I
Yeah.
was the only guy to get first class, so but
Yeah.
but after a while, you fly so much, you automatically got upgraded. I've got 6 million frequent flyer miles
Oh my gosh.
documented, not counting Southwest and all the other little things I've flown. But yeah, so a lot of flying. So you got high levels on the frequent flyer list.